I'm CM Coleman, and welcome to CM Coleman Home. Today it's Free Friday. So Free Friday, I'm going to give you a tip on how to make your holidays a little less stressful. We're going to talk about these later on in the coming weeks, but today I'm going to give you some tips for the holidays. You can use this on Thanksgiving or just about any holiday that you have that you're going to come up with. My number one tip to make your holiday less stressful: plan for it. I know. Thanksgiving came up out of nowhere this year. So did Christmas. Wait, no it didn't. It's going to come up every year. So here's the number one thing to think about. What is going to happen? It's just like writing a term paper. You want to think about the what, when, where, not necessarily the why, and the how. The what, you know what that is. It's going to be your holiday dinner. The where, that's important. Where are you going to have your holiday dinner? Are you going to serve it in your dining room? Is there enough room to serve it in your dining room? Are you going to have people serve themselves? Are you going to serve them yourself? That's all going to depend upon your space. In my space, usually at Christmas time, what we do is we have people serve themselves. So that means that people are coming into the kitchen, which means that my kitchen needs to be really straightened up. The how part becomes really important because we have to think about how we're doing this. Are we going to be able to have enough space for the turkey to be in the oven at the same time as the potatoes and the green bean casserole and everything? So you might even want to do a practice run. The one thing I will suggest that you never, ever, ever, under any circumstance do, try out a recipe for the first time on the day of the event. Because I've had recipes which seemed like they would work perfectly, and they were an absolute disaster. So don't do that. The other thing to think about is, what are you having? Are you going to have a traditional dinner for your festival or your holiday? Or are you going to do something different? You need to know who is coming. Here's why. Some people have allergies. If you are a guest and you're going to somebody's house for a holiday and you have a bizarre allergy that says you're allergic to anything that's touched water, let's say, alright, so it's a little strange, but you never know. Let your host know, and then also offer to bring something that you can eat. Why is that important? So that you will have food rather than sitting there going, ew, I can't have that, I can't have that. If you have somebody who's with you who is a picky eater, let your host know. That way they can prepare for that. If you are the host, be flexible. There are some things which you cannot plan for, but let everybody know what's in each dish. Don't be secretive. This is not the time to be secretive at the time of year when people are going to be trying your food. Let everybody know. What you can do, which is sort of fun, is include the recipe for each dish that you have, because what that actually does is that gives people a chance to scan through it and see what they do, what they can eat, what they can't eat, what they do like and what they don't like. And you're passing on traditions with recipes. Sounds pretty good so far. If you are a person who likes to write things down, get a calendar, write it down. Figure out when you're going to set it up, when you're going to tear it down, how you're going to set it up. If you know each year that Aunt Martha and Uncle Harry hate each other and shouldn't be sat beside each other, here's a thought: don't sit them beside each other. If you say to yourself, well, for the last 50 years that the same thing's happened and it's been an issue, guess what? It's going to happen this year too. Plan for that. Also, you might not be a certain homemaker who does everything by herself and is right now probably genetically engineering her turkeys, but your Thanksgiving can be just as wonderful. It just won't be exactly like the perfect Thanksgiving. Guess what? There are no perfect holidays. When you look at pictures, the picture might be perfect, but the holiday might not have been. Be flexible. Be ready for surprises. It can be stressful, but relax. Go with it. If you know you have a family that loves to watch football after the big meal and you want them to do something else, guess what they're going to do? They're going to watch football. They're absolutely going to watch football. If you're going to fight with them and say, this year we're going to go and talk about our feelings, they're not going to do that. And if they do, they're not going to have fun. Flexible. Plan for things. Don't try to get people to do stuff that you know that they're going to hate. Also be prepared for, right now I have my dog who's sitting off to the right of me. Also, be prepared for animals. Luckily for me and my mom, who live just around the corner from each other, I can bring the animals over to my house and nobody's over at her house. Or we can take them someplace else. Let people know who are coming to your house that you have animals. That way, if they have allergies, they can plan accordingly. If you are going to somebody's house and you know that they have animals, guess what? They have animals. They live there. You don't live there. They'll try to do their best to accommodate you, but they probably won't be able to get every speck of hair, dust, or whatever out of the way. The other thing to think about if you're being a guest, don't snoop in cabinets. I know a wonderful story where somebody put a bag of marbles into the medicine cabinet because the mother-in-law would snoop in the medicine cabinet, so that way when she opened it up, all the marbles fell out into the sink. Don't go snooping. One of the tips that I can give is if you're planning your holiday, do a run-through. I'm right now sitting there as my front door. What I would do is I would do a run-through where I come through and act like I'm a guest from the minute they come in till when we have dinner till after dinner, to make sure that I have coat hangers that are available, to make sure I have enough seating at the table. I like to do place cards because then there's no surprise as I'm sitting there going, oh wait, I don't have enough chairs. I have enough chairs then. So, plan, plan, plan. We'll talk more about this later, but that is my #1 tip for the entire season. Plan it out. Get onto a calendar, write it down. I will give you a link to a schedule, which will be a daily schedule and a monthly schedule, which you can then print out and you can write down, well, my turkey's going to take 5 hours to cook out, so you know how long, when you should start things, and what will be in the oven at what time. Why is that so cool? Because then you're not going, oh wait, the sweet potatoes aren't in the oven right now and they should be in the oven. I don't want that to happen to you this year. I want this year to be the year that you actually get to sit down and watch TV with everybody else, not hide away in the kitchen. So we're going to look at what you can cook ahead, what you can't cook ahead, what you can have other people bring, which is okay. People can bring food to your house. And also we're going to look at what sort of menus you can look at. So until next Friday, what I want you to do, this is a tough one, it's going to be really hard, but I think you can do it. Get a calendar out, write down your whole intentions, when you're going to have it, what you're going to do, where you're going to put it, and who all is coming. When you come back with that information next week, we're going to look at more specifics. But this week, what, when, where, when, how, and why. And then we'll come back next week. I hope you have a great week. If you like this video and want to see more videos like this, hit the like button. Also, you can subscribe, and every Friday for the holiday season, we're going to be talking about how to make your holiday season even a little bit better. We're even going to get into some decorating ideas. On Mondays, we have Make It Mondays. We're going to be making things, probably just ingredients which go into our other recipes. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our recipes. And then on Wednesdays, we're going to have discussions. So far, we've talked about pans, we've talked about equipment, but we'll talk about all sorts of ingredients and that sort of thing every week. Also, share this video with your friends. If you share it, you're going to find out we're going to get more discussion in the comments, and we're going to come up with some really cool ideas. So share it with all of your friends. I hope to see you next week, and once again, make yourself at home.